Well, y'all, it's late. I'm tired. I was aggravated over a bunch of nothing today. But I came home. I was too tired to cook, so I ended up making a ham and cheese sandwich. That was my dinner. And I've been craving apple fritters forever. So that's what I decided I'm going to make tonight, is some apple fritters. And I thought I'd just bring y'all along, and you could see how I'm going to do it. First of all, I got these 2 apples that I've had here, and I said I got to do something with them or they're not going to be fitting to eat. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and take these 2 apples, and I'm going to peel them here, and I'm going to make a couple of apple fritters with them. It was a toss-up. Did I want to make turnovers or fritters? And I said, well, I think I'm going to make fritters. I like fritters pretty good. But I'm just here peeling, coring these 2 apples. Throw it all in the sink, and then I'll put it in the compost bucket. I guess I should have had them peeled already, but I didn't, y'all. You just have to put up with me. I don't want any cores in my fritters, y'all. I don't think that would be a good thing. It tried to rain a little bit today. All it did was sprinkle a little. Didn't even get the ground wet, and then it stopped. We did get a little sprinkle yesterday, not much, but did kind of wet the ground a little. But today, we weren't that lucky. We didn't get a whole lot of anything. You could just feel a few drops on your arm, and that was it, and then it stopped. Because I was rushing around outside trying to get finished, because I thought it was just going to start pouring down. And shoot, I rushed around, got a little bit done, and got everything put up, come in the house. Got in the house and it stopped. Didn't do any more. But I bought these 2 apples in mind to do this. And I just got busy doing one thing another, and I never did it. And I said, well, I got to do something with those 2 apples before they're not any good. So, I don't know if that'll come down anymore. There. I'm just going to chop them up real tiny, dice them up. Because you want your apple to be able to cook a little bit while it's cooking the fritter. And these apples are easy to cut up, so I don't need any fancy knife to do this with. As I'm cutting them up, I'm going to put them right over in my bowl. A little bowl I'm going to be mixing them in. I love these things. It's the next thing to eating an apple pie or an apple turnover is eating one of these. Oh, I'm getting apple all over the top of the stove. And my light went out in my refrigerator yesterday. And I don't know where the light is. I don't know if it can be replaced. But I can't see the light in there. It's up under something, so I have to figure out where the thing is before I can be able to figure out if I can replace it or not. There, I got all my apple chopped up in there. I'm going to mix in 1 egg. I'm also going to mix in, where's my sugar bowl? A tablespoon or 2 of sugar, just plain white sugar. I don't want it too sweet. I'm also going to put in a spoonful of vanilla. I got a tablespoon, but I'm only going to put it about, not even quite half full. About a teaspoonful of vanilla. And this is just cinnamon sugar. Whoop! Don't want to pour it, I want to sprinkle it. Just going to mix that up good and let it coat on those apples. When all that sugar and vanilla and cinnamon and egg just mix real good with those pieces of apple. Now I think I'm gonna, well, let's see. I got my other tripod over here. I can raise it up and see if I can move you over on this side. Without turning the camera off. And I will, whoops. I don't know how come in to do that. This holder's not cooperating. Now, I think the lighting is, I don't know which way it's better. But I've got all of it coated up good with my egg. Well, I've got my little measuring cup in here. It measures a half a cup of flour, I think it does. Yeah, it's a half a cup. But I don't think I'm going to need a half a cup. I'm just going to, well, I might. I didn't quite put a half a cup in there, but almost a cup. Half a cup. But I'll see the texture when I get it stirred up if I need any more or not. I might need just a little bit more. Yeah, I'll need a little bit more. Because you'll need a good half a cup of flour, I think. I make this different every time because I don't use the same amount of apples each time. I've made as little as just one apple in it before. And I am using self-rising flour, y'all. It's going to be kind of a stiff mixture. I don't want it real runny. But I want it mixed up really good. I may need just a little bit more flour. I guess I got 2 whole apples in there, that's why. Oh man, that cinnamon and that apple smells so good already. I just want to dig in. But you want it mixed up till it's kind of a stiff consistency. But you want all your flour mixed in with the liquid. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this, I'll tell you. Now I'm going to put some olive oil in my pan. I could probably use a bigger pan, but I like it the way the smaller pan kind of browns everything more evenly. And I'm just going to put it in a spoonful at a time. Try to flatten it down a little bit. Not a whole lot. I don't want them flat. But just do a good tablespoon Slide them right off into the pan with your finger. And kind of flatten them out just a tiny bit. You don't want them in a ball, but you don't want them completely flat either. These are going to be good. I hope you can see the consistency of these things. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. Now we're just going to fry them, brown them on each side. We don't want them to cook too fast because we want the apple to cook a little bit. So I'm turning it down just a tiny bit. Don't need any more flour. And I've got my cinnamon sugar available, right ready, because when I take them out, when they're fried, I'm going to put them on the paper towel and I'm going to sprinkle more cinnamon and sugar on them. It's almost like eating a fritter pie, if you could call it a fritter pie. I don't know. I haven't come up with a name for it yet. But it's probably the next thing to a piece of apple pie. But you can see here in my bowl, it's not runny or anything. It's kind of a stiff batter with the apple in it. That's the way you want it. And I put about 3/4 of a cup of flour in with 1 egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, about 3 tablespoons of white sugar, with 2 chopped apples. And it's going to make me desserts for several meals for the next couple of days. But like, you know, the same thing goes with my tuna and macaroni salad. I don't mind eating it several days because I love it. Same way with this. I love it, so I don't mind eating it. Will not mind eating it. Well, I thought I could get under that with this, but I don't know. Yeah, there it goes. When it starts browning on one side, flip them over. I mean, you can see the chunks of apple in there. That's why I say, you know, don't cook them too fast, because you want some of that apple to cook and be good and tender, almost like it is in apple pie when you go to bite down on it. Almost looks like pineapple in there from here. Let's see. I don't know how I can show you any better. I don't like the light. The light is just, it bothers me. Maybe it'll focus all right like that. I don't know. I'm going to flip that one over again because I want it to cook that little bit of batter that was on there. But don't they look yummy? Oh my God. That looks yummy, y'all. Can't get it up. ahead and do the other side a little bit. But like I said, while they're still hot, shake a little bit more of that cinnamon sugar on them. On both sides. Woo. And I'm going to definitely have to let them cool before I can try them. But I know they're good. I've had them before. I mean, I've made them before, so I know they're good. But you want chunks of apple. Not real great big ones. Just dice them up like you would do an onion. Dice them up kind of small. Like I said, you don't have to go too small, but you don't want them too big either. It makes a real sticky dough. I'm going to get these cooked, and then I'm going to sit down and watch me a movie and eat me a couple of them as soon as they cool off. And I got to put cinnamon sugar on that third one. Oh, it's going to be good. It is going to be good, y'all. And you don't have to worry about the shape. They don't have to be perfect. They're like fritters. They're not perfect pieces of pie or something. Let that cook a little more. It's not quite ready to flip over yet. But you can do this with pears, peaches even. I've not tried it with bananas, but hey, I don't see why you couldn't make a banana fritter like this. I think that would be real good too. And this is one of my inventions, y'all. This is one of my inventive recipes that I came up with because I wanted a piece of apple pie one day. And I didn't want to make the pie. So this was the next best thing that I found I could do. I need to turn that down a tiny bit more. I don't want it getting too brown on the outside without getting done inside. So fry it slow and easy. I mean, you still want it to fry, but you don't want it to, you know what I mean. If you're an experienced cook, you know you don't want to fry it so fast and so hot that it burns the outside and everything inside is raw. So but 2 apples is going to make me about 8 of these fritters. That's why sometimes I only use 1 great big apple and I cut my ingredients down. Of course, I have to still put that 1 egg in there, but I cut all the other ingredients down so I don't have, you know, I'm not fixing quite as much. Even though I've turned it down, it's still getting pretty and nice and brown. But you want that flour, that dough, to cook inside with those apples. You don't want that dough raw inside your fritter. Apple pie fritters, y'all. What am I going to think of next? Letting these cool down so maybe I can eat one. Share it with you. But they need a little bit more cinnamon and sugar. And you know, while they're hot, that cinnamon, that sugar will kind of melt down on the outside. Makes it nice. Almost like a honey bun. Flip over. I want to put some on the other side. That's the next best thing to a piece of apple pie, I'll tell you that. And you don't necessarily have to buy cinnamon and sugar already put together for you. You can just use plain cinnamon and white sugar, mix it together, and you got cinnamon sugar. I think I bought that cinnamon sugar by mistake. I thought I had grabbed a little container of cinnamon, and I didn't pay attention when I put it in the basket and when I checked out. Didn't notice till I got home I had cinnamon sugar. You know how you do, you get other stuff on your mind and you lose track of what you're doing and all that kind of good stuff. Get that sugar and stuff off my fingers. They are going to be good. And at least this is olive oil I'm using. Olive oil is supposed to be good for you. I don't know how much our olive oils are good for us. I don't know if they're diluted down with anything else or not. I'm sure the best olive oil in the world is some that's really expensive. I have no idea. But I try with, using the olive oil I have available. Try not to make this video too long on you. But I think it's a video well worth seeing. Especially if you live alone. You'd like to have some dessert, but you don't want to go to a great big expense or put in too much time to get it. This is a great thing to make. And I'm going to put that cooler piece right up there. But look how they're looking already. Look at that. Don't those look good? You can see the chunks of apple in there. And to fry these in butter would even, oh my goodness. I thought about that, but I didn't know how the butter I've got would do in frying them. Now back up just a hair. But yeah, that gave me eight of these fritters, these apple fritters. I like to flip them over a couple of times while they're cooking to try to get them to cook evenly throughout. But I like to experiment with food. And I guess by now you know that if you've been watching very many of my videos. I experiment with my food, and I just want to cook the end of that a little bit. I don't want to add a bunch more grease just to get the edges cooked. Check on this one. I think I can turn those off. Like I said, I don't want to burn them. And I really didn't put that much of the cinnamon and sugar on there because, you know, it doesn't come out very fast. Get that piece of apple. That's good. Don't that look good? Next best thing to apple pie. Now, where was that cool one? I think this was it. I just want to break it open. And after it sits there a little bit, it'll kind of moisten up even more. But that's the way it looks inside. You see the chunks of apple? And with that cinnamon and vanilla flavoring and the cinnamon and sugar on the outside, that is good. Take a bite. Open wide. Take a big bite. Oh my God. I could even went with just a little bit less flour. That half a cup was plenty. I didn't have to put that another fourth of a cup in there. That's good. It's hard to explain it. It's a cross between apple pie, apple cobbler, apple cake. I don't know what you could call it. But it's a good apple fritter to me. But yeah, if you make it, cut it down to just a half a cup of flour because I got a little bit much flour in there. I wanted just a little bit less flour in there than that, but it's still good. That is so good, y'all. It's almost like eating an apple donut. That is so good. Take another bite. There's a big old piece of apple there. Gotta get my sugar off my fingers so I can mess with the camera here. But don't they look good? If you want a quick, easy apple dessert, there you go. With a cup of coffee or a glass of iced tea, you can't beat it. Or maybe even some vanilla ice cream on top. Put one of these on your plate and put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on it. Oh my God, that I want me some ice cream now. So there you go. There's my version of apple fritters, apple cakes, whatever you want to call them, but they're good. Y'all fixy some. Try them out and see if you don't like it. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye now. Love y'all. Quick and easy apple dessert, y'all. You need to try it, and I think you'll like it. But just remember, put a little bit less flour in there than I did. I didn't think I had quite enough, and I added that little bit, quarter of a cup, and that was too much. Don't put more than just barely a half a cup of flour. If you're using 2 big apples. Maybe not even that much flour. But it's real good. Y'all please try them. You'll love them. And we'll see you next time. Bye now.